feels mighty far away. Do I feel far away? I do. I could sit down here. I don't have much to go by. Then I can't see my slides. No. I'll stay up here. All right. All right, all right. All right, gang, let's kick into it. So, I feel like start of the night, I need to give a precursor that I have just come out of like 7 days of that hectic winter flu. And so my voice will progressively get worse. I'm not trying to put on a love song dedications voice, but if it feels like that, maybe it's fitting for the theme. We're doing love, sex, and dating, so just a heads up on my voice. I do have tea here, but bear with me. If it gets too deep, we'll just drop the microphone and we'll just really get in the mood. Hey, we're covering love, sex, and dating tonight. And like, I was chatting with your leaders beforehand, and I was like, honestly, I just want this to be just like a hangout and a chat. I'm like, I've sat through enough of these. I've been at Crossway all through youth, and I'm like, nobody wants to sit here and like be told the rules of life. I'm like, give me a bit of help, give me a bit of guidance, tell me what you did. But honestly, if I can be anything, I hope I can hold the figure of like a big sister to you tonight. Like, I'm not trying to be like the adult. I'm not a professor. I am an adult. I'm an adult. But I'm only standing up here with my life advice and what I've learned from the Bible, but I have no degrees in love, sex, and dating, but I am in love, I have had sex, and I used to date. So for those three things, yeah, I do have experience. So that's where we're coming to this at. One other precursor I want to give for tonight is, if we can give the slide one, is nobody in this room has got it all together. Yeah, nobody's perfect. But I want you to know that no matter what you come into the room with, that you're safe and okay and loved to be here. Like, no one's walking out with judgment and shame from this chat. If you've done everything in the world there is to do under the sun, you are loved and you are welcome in this space. If you have done nothing and I am about to break some ground around definitions of love, sex, and dating for you, you are loved and you are welcome in this space, yeah? Like, no one has done too much or not enough. No one can outdo what Jesus did for you. So this is a safe space. I just wanted to say that for you in advance. The verse I think is so fitting for that is, for all have sinned and fall short of the glory of God. Like, all, every single one of us in the room, me, you, all have sinned and fallen short of the glory of God. So I think if we can hold that going into our conversations tonight, like, that's the standard to set. Let's all be humble. Let's all be teachable. We've all sinned and fallen short. So that's where we're coming in. Tonight I want us to tackle 4 myths about love, sex, and dating. And I'm going to try and demystify the myths and tell you a bit about my story. But let me tell you about who I am first, because I realize, other than the leaders in the room, you probably haven't seen me do dating. So for me, I didn't date in high school, not because I didn't want to or wasn't allowed. I'm the youngest of 4 kids. So I had the joy of watching my 3 older siblings, who were a year and a half, 4 years, year and a half, 6 years, and 8 years above me, all go through dating. So between the 4 of us, there have been like 8 to 10 boyfriends and girlfriends that came to sit around the family table. So it's not that I chose not to date. It was just that I was like, I've seen a real nasty breakup in the household recently. I'ma just wait on it. And flirting was really fun for me. Like, I was a serial flirter till I knew I probably had the guy on the hook, and then I was like, well, that's all the fun for me. I don't want to date you. Bye. Which was really bad. Like, I can look back on it now and be like, oh, you're the worst. Brooke, you were the actual worst. Like, don't be that person. It's so unkind. So that was sort of where I like to dabble. And then come first year uni and being 18, I started dating my first boyfriend, Mitch. I came into that with no prior relationships. He came into that after having like a long-term girlfriend all through high school. So we kind of had the joy of me being like, this is all brand new for me. Like, how fun's dating? And him coming into it being like, so I kind of like been here and done all this, but with another person. So this is my take 2. And I was like, oh, cool. She's got like 4 more years on the board than I do with you. So this is fun. But hey, it worked out. We're now married. We'll be 5 years married in Jan. So yeah. So he's an awesome guy, but yeah, so the love, sex, and dating bit I've done. So I just want to give you that context beforehand, because also we are going to open up to a Q&A at the end of this. I'm not an expert. Maybe I will be able to answer it, maybe I won't be able to answer it, but I'm going to hope I can answer some of your questions now. And if I can't answer your question, we'll open to a Q&A. We'll try and tackle some of the questions then, and then your leaders are also very wise and capable minds. So you've got them there as well. All right, first myth. Can we get the first myth up on the screen? First myth is, we're looking for the one. This makes me sing the Kanye song every time, Gold Digger. I'm looking for the one. Have you seen it? My psychic says, don't say that line in church. I'm going to let you guys in on a secret. I don't think Mitch is the one for me. Oh my gosh, but you married him. No, but truly, I think if it didn't work out with us when we were dating, if we hadn't crossed paths at Crossway Youth, or if, heck, we hadn't resolved one of our fights along the way while we were boyfriend, girlfriend, and we broke up, truly, I reckon God would find me another person. Like, I've ended up with him now, and he's amazing, and till death do us part. But I don't think the God we serve is ever the God of the one chance. Like, you know, the big God of, like, if I had the God of one chance, oh my gosh, I'd be so screwed. Like, I'd be so screwed in jobs, in friendship, in everything. I wouldn't have my family anymore. Like, he's the God of a million chances. And so the Bible verse that I think is so relevant for this one, for I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord, plans to prosper you and not to harm you, plans to give you a hope and a future. Know this to be true in love and dating. Like, I'm telling you, this is true in love and dating. He has plans for you to give you a hope and a future. Like, if dating or girls or guys or anything has been the worst for you, like, he's a God who's in the love and he's a God who's in the dating, and he wants to give you a hope and a future in this space. Like, he's not, I don't know, uncool and only for the married people. So if we think of God as the God of infinite chances and we're not looking for the one, who are we looking for? Like, how do we find the person? Who are we going to date? What do we even like start categorizing? One line I love, which you can roll your eyes if you've heard it before, be the person you're looking for is looking for. Like, a little bit cliche, but honestly so true. Like, if you're looking for someone of like great character and man, they love God and their family love them and they love their family, or they're actually really kind to their friends. And when I see them, I see people respect them. If that's the kind of person you're looking for, are you being that person as well? Like, I could look at 16-year-old Brooke and be like, girl, rude, like, be less that. But I had time and space to work on that. But what I can say to you guys is start working on who you want to be. Like, that's a big identity talk. But, like, start working on who you want to be and start being the person you're looking for is looking for. And then one bit of advice that I've honestly clung to my whole life, and it worked for me. It was from my mum. She's a good lady. She said, Brooke, there's only 2 things I ask of you as your mum to look for in a guy. I was like, oh gosh, great, hit me. She was like, 1 is that he loves Jesus. I was like, yeah, cool. She's like, the second is that you respect him. I was like, bit boring, but great. And honestly, those 2 things managed to cross off a bunch of people for me. So I'd be like, I went to a girls' school, so we like partnered with the guy school. I'm like, that guy from the guy school that I catch a train with, I'm like, he's super cool and he's super funny and I think he's hot and like it's really working out for me, blah, 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 but he doesn't love Jesus. I'm like, all right, well, I'm not going to date him. That's fine. Cross him off. That guy from church, I'm like, yeah, he's really great and people really like him. He's like pretty popular. It'd look good for me to date him. I was like, but I actually don't respect him. I'm like, I look at him and I actually think he's a bit of a boy. Like I'm a year 11 girl and I'm like, you're just a bit of a child. Like, it's fine, have opinions. But going by, do they love Jesus and do I respect them, served me so well. So ask it. Because truly, we can go by chemistry and there's going to be like 1,000 people that give you butterflies. There's going to be so many people that you're like, they really made me laugh. Or like, I feel a little bit something for them. And chemistry is amazing, but chemistry doesn't last and character does. So if you can give yourself a checklist to find character and then you pair that up when chemistry comes along, truly I think you'll find yourself in good stead. All right. Myth 2. Are you holding on? We're just going to move through these 4 myths. So myth 2 is give them time, they'll change. Give them time. No, I know they're like that right now, but they're actually, I think they'll change. I think they'll be great. Here's the thing. This God we serve, he is a redemptive and good God. Like, he's a savior God. He gives people 1,000 chances. He can heal people. He can save people. He can change people. But we aren't God. Like, sometimes we can go into other people's lives and be like, I'm going to save you. I'm going to make you better. Like, I will change you. And my greatest advice for you in this is date someone if you want to date who they are right now. Like, right now, unchanged, not hoping that there'll be anything else, not being like, oh, but they are probably going to become a doctor. Or like, their family's pretty wealthy, so like, it could be great eventually. But it's like, no, if who they are right now, unchanged, is great and checks off chemistry and character, amazing. But if not, I say proceed with caution. In the Bible, it says, do not be unequally yoked with unbelievers, for what partnership has righteousness with lawlessness, and what fellowship has light with darkness? We hear this a lot. Sometimes it meant nothing to me. Sometimes I'm like, damn, that's good advice. Why don't be connected to or tied in relationship with someone who doesn't share the same values? Because sometimes it's like, but if we've got everything else going for us, like, why does that even matter? The why is because God genuinely cares so much about the relationship you end up in. So much. Like, genuinely cares. He knows your heart and he's like, I want the best for you. I want you to end up with a person who is going to be your greatest champion. And if we believe that this like path we go down is the narrow way of Jesus, that we believe we're actually being countercultural and we're making decisions that aren't the easy way, but they're the narrow way, heck, let's find a partner who's our greatest cheerleader heading down the narrow path of Jesus with us. Yeah? If we are finding someone who not only tries to pull us back from the narrow way of Jesus, but they don't even understand why it's important, truly it's going to make life harder. And being a Christian in this world is always going to be hard enough. So find yourself a cheerleader, find yourself someone you can be equally yoked to. Another verse that I think is probably true for relationship and friendship, but that's a different sermon. Do not be deceived. Bad company ruins good morals. Like, if we're the culmination of the 5 people we spend the most time with, who are you surrounding yourself with? You can have the best character and the best intentions, but the results we always see is bad company ruins good morals. So the lesson here, if you take anything away, set your standards high. You're a child of the King. Yeah? Like, know that as you go out. Set your standards high. You're a child of a king. We don't see the royal family. They're an odd bunch, but you assume they're going to marry a person of great quality and character. You should assume the same for yourself. Set your standards high. All right. 3rd myth. It is bad to be inexperienced. So this was a really fun one for me in high school. I remember I'm a January baby, so like every new age for me is like a new school year level. And I remember going into year 11, 16, I'm young, and my best friend, that was a weird toxic relationship, being like, everyone, Brooke's sweet 16 never been kissed. And I was so embarrassed. Like, that statement should not have meant anything. It truly didn't matter. But I was so embarrassed. And then I was like, all right, this year, the year of being 16, I'm going to go out and I'm going to kiss someone so that my friends can't make fun of me because I haven't kissed anyone yet. So then who are they going to make fun of? And it was the musical after party. I went, I kissed this guy that I'd been flirting with, went home, whatever, and then came to school on Monday being like, this guy kissed someone, so I'm a pretty big deal now. And they're like, oh my gosh, did you hear that guy you kissed? Kissed 4 other girls from our school that night. And I was like, I'm actually more embarrassed now than I was before. What a solution to my problem. Like, I didn't become a better person. I wasn't more qualified to be a girlfriend. I wasn't a better kisser. Like, nothing about getting experience made me better. And the world honestly tells us, like, love and sex and everything around that, it's like, it's cheap and it's casual. Like, go out and get it. Yeah, get it. Experience the world like it's yours. But truly, that's not what the Bible says. And I want you to know this because there is design and thought to all of this. Like, God's a masterful artist and creator. And truly, when he